sugar, oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. I just can't believe the loveliness of loving you. I just can't believe it's true. Oh sugar, oh honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Well, those of you that are a little more mature like myself probably remember back in 1968 when that song came out. And it was sung by the Archies, a cartoon band, actually. I think that was their one and only hit. I don't think the band itself actually ever existed other than for the, what was it, with the Riverdale? I think it was the Riverdale Fair, or something going on in Riverdale, and the Archies played at it. I kind of remember that. The only thing that stuck out in my mind from that video, other than the song, which was catchy, was that Reggie went to the kissing booth, and when he was kissed, he turned into a frog. So, anyway, if you remember the Archie comics, you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, just ignore this part of the video and we'll carry on. The reason I sang that song was because today we're going to make something sweet. We're going to make a dessert, and that's a different take on kind of a rice pudding. I say it's different take because normally you make rice pudding with raisins and milk and that sort of thing. Today we're going to make something quite different with rice and no milk. So hope you'll enjoy today's recipe. It's called apple blueberry rice pudding. And so let's get to it. And we're going to start off at the stove, and then we'll move back over here to the counter to do the finishing touches. All right, let's get to it. All right, we're going to start here at the stove, and our first ingredient, now this you can adjust to make larger or smaller. If you're making it for one person, you can just say use a half a cup. If you're making it for more people, then just increase your apple juice. We're going to start off making it today with 1 cup of apple juice. Now you can make it with 2 cups of apple juice, 3 cups, 4 cups, 5 cups, however many cups you want. But you're going to bring that to a boil, whatever you decide the amount you're going to use. And we're going to add to the apple juice 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Now, that is because of an ingredient we're going to add later, and lemon juice will keep apples from turning brown. I don't know if you knew that or not. Most of you who've been cooking for a while probably did. But that's why we're adding that teaspoon of apple juice in there. Now, in today's recipe, because my wife, as I've said many times before, is diabetic, I'm going to be making this with Splenda. But if you're not diabetic or not concerned or on a diet or whatever, you can use sugar. And regular Splenda and sugar are 1 for 1. So if your recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of sugar, you can use 1 teaspoon of Splenda. The one that's different is brown sugar Splenda, which is far sweeter than regular brown sugar, and I believe it's 1/3. So if your recipe called for 3 teaspoons of brown sugar, you would use 1 teaspoon of brown sugar Splenda. But we're not using brown sugar Splenda today, so I'm sorry I confused you with all that information you don't need. So we're going to bring our apple juice to a boil. There we go, our apple juice is just starting to boil here. So we'll sprinkle in our Splenda. Get it to dissolve there in the apple juice. Oh, that smells good. Hot apple cider, hot apple juice smells so good. Okay, we've got it to a boil. Stir in our rice. So what's going to happen now is basically your rice is going to absorb the apple juice and, of course, with it, the flavor. Just bring that in, put that in there, and bring it back up to a boil. You can see it's boiling, and then we're going to turn that off. Put the lid on it and take it off the heat. And we're going to wait 10 minutes. So we'll be back in 10 minutes. Well, our rice is ready, so let's carry on with putting our dessert together. You can see the rice has absorbed all the apple juice. Well, most of the apple juice. There's still a little bit of it there, I guess. Scoop the rice out into our thing. Now, you could do this in the saucepan if you wanted to, but I just thought you could see it better if I did it in this glass dish. And if you're going to serve it up as a pudding, you might want to put it in a nicer thing to dish it up than, or to serve it, I mean, than a saucepan. So, there we go. So, all right, to our rice, we are going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. Always amazes me how much more it looks like when you pre-measure it out. Just kind of mix that in there. Now you just don't want to get this mixed up with your savory rice and put it on the table, somebody thinking it's brown rice, and they get the surprise of their life when they put it in their mouth. Alrighty, we're going to add a half cup of applesauce. Making me feel like I'm being a real slob here, because I'm normally pretty tidy when I cook, but for some reason this just looks messy. And we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of blueberries. Now, if you want it to be even sweeter, or if you don't have fresh blueberries, you can actually use blueberry jam. Now, if you use blueberry jam, and you know ahead of time you're going to use blueberry jam, you might want to omit the sweetener, the Splenda or the sugar. And we're just going to blend that all together. Now this can be served warm. Now if you're going to serve it warm, then it's really good to put ice cream on top of it. So vanilla ice cream, or French vanilla ice cream. Makes it, the ice cream starts to melt in, and that's good. If you're going to serve it cool, then I would suggest using whipping cream. There we go. We got a nice rice, apple blueberry rice pudding. Doesn't look very fancy, but boy, does it taste good. So, well, that's our recipe for today. I hope you've enjoyed it and give it a try. It's super easy to make and oh so good. Like I say, if you want it really sweet, you can leave the sweetener in and use blueberry jam instead. Or if you don't like blueberries, again, this is a recipe you can change up. You could use strawberries, you could use raspberries, blackberries, whatever tickles your fancy. Here in Saskatchewan, right season, you could use Saskatoon berries. Anyway, whatever berry tickles your fancy, that's what you can use. If you don't like apple juice, well, you could make this with peach juice or raspberry juice or whatever kind of juice you got. So again, it's one of those wonderful recipes that you can change up to suit your tastes or the season, whatever kind of berry or whatever is in season. And this would be very good made with peach juice and putting chunks of peach in it. Be very good with strawberries. Apple strawberry, apple rhubarb, whatever you like. Now, if you use rhubarb, of course, you're probably going to want to add a little extra sweetener because rhubarb tends to be a bit tart. But whatever you want to do with this recipe, be my guest. Make it your own, and just give it a try. That's all I ask. Anyway, until Friday when we have our shout-outs, our story, and our groaner of the week. Take care, stay safe, and God bless.